got another piece of, well, it's not really antique, it's vintage silverware to show you. And it's this piece here. Now, I picked this up at my local flea market about a year ago. And as you can see, it says ARP. And it's got a crown on the top. And on the back, it's got a little crescent hook. Now, if anyone watching this is familiar with the Second World War, they will probably know what ARP is. But for those of you who don't, ARP stands for Air Raid Precautions. It was the civilian Air Raid Precautions organization set up in Britain in the 1920s in response to British Zeppelin raids. German Zeppelin raids on British cities during the First World War. And the British government thought that if there is ever another war between Britain and Europe, it will almost certainly involve bombing of civilian targets, population centers, cities, towns, stuff like that. And so they established the ARP in the 1920s, 1924 I believe, to deal with this if it should happen in the future. And if you joined the ARP between 1924 and 1939, you received a badge like this. This is a lapel badge for an ARP warden. Now, the ARP was most active, obviously, during the Second World War, where they assisted in evacuations, in guiding people to air raid shelters, in administering first aid and rescuing people in bombed buildings and all that kind of stuff. So you're probably thinking there are thousands and thousands and thousands of this badge, and you would probably be right. But what makes this different is that after 1939, obviously they continued to make these and issued them to newly joined up ARP wardens. The difference between those badges and this one, which was made before the war started, is that this is sterling silver. And I'll show you the hallmarks, if I can, on the back. Hallmark for London, 1939, sterling silver. And I think that's rather neat, you know, the fact that if you join the organization, you got your badge in sterling silver. I mean, these days it would be punched steel or, maybe even plastic. But in those days, if you joined a government organization, this is what they gave you. And you wore this on your uniform. And you would polish this, you would polish the silver, and you would put it onto the lapel of your uniform, and that way everyone would know who you were in the middle of an air raid. In fact, that's what this is for, this crescent hook. This is supposed to go into the lapel of your uniform like that, and it would hook on in there. And this is actually a man's ARP warden badge. The ladies' badges they looked the same as this, except at the back, instead of the crescent hook, they had a brooch, safety pin attachment. And so that's how you tell them apart if you ever find one of these in a flea market. The male ones have the crescent hook, and the female ones have a safety pin on the back. So yeah, a little piece of wartime silver. Not something that you really see these days. Very cute.